conversation.
Yeah.
Prior to getting married. I think that was the one thing that did help us.
Okay.
Because we had this conversation before we did the marriage license and all that.
Yeah.
We had this conversation. I will say, now looking back, at that moment when we made when the decision was made, I did it out of obligation.
Okay.
I did not want to do it. Now looking back at it, I'm glad I did it, but I also wish I would have been more. I would have voiced my concerns in a more thorough way.
Okay.
Then basically it's like, I just don't want to do it.
Miss Independent.
I don't want to do it. Yeah, basically that's how it was. So I would advise to have a conversation beforehand so that you can truly get to an understanding of why it's important, like why each way or whatever the way is important to the other person to get their perspective, and then decide whatever makes sense for the both of y'all.
Okay.
Because I think this is, although it may come across as being small, it could weigh, it could have more impact for one person than the other.
Yeah, and that's why.
This is the B-side, 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 the marriage. This is the B-side, 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 the marriage.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of the B-Side of Marriage podcast. I'm your host, Rashonda. This is my husband and co-host,
Jason.
And here at the B-Side, we talk about everything related to marriage. The good, the bad, the real, the A, and the B-side. So if you're checking us out on YouTube, please be sure to subscribe, ring the bell, all the things, leave comments, as well as if you're listening on any of our audio platforms, please be sure to do all the same stuff.
As well, follow us on Facebook at The B-Side of Marriage and on Instagram at B-Side of Marriage.
Okie dokie. So we like to start every episode with the A or B side, but we're going to change it up a little bit. From now on, we're going to share both an A and a B side of our week.
Oh, man. You tossed it. Okay, so... I guess I'll start with my A side.
Okay.
A side would honestly have to be just like I said, just thinking about our friends, a couple friends that we get to do life with and stuff like that, and how just throughout, I guess I would say throughout the years that we've made the relationship, like they continue to get tighter and tighter and tighter. Mm-hmm. And I only say that because, like I say, our kids' godparents, we're very close to them, and it's just just the things that we talk between me and the husband. It's just it's encouraging for me. So that's the A side. You want to go or you want to do my B side too?
Yes, do both.
I guess my B side is that's I could say B side is we went to we went out for a couples night and we went to like a live podcast or something, and we actually had they asked the question, and we had a disagreement, which I realized after we had the conversation that I didn't say exactly how I felt, so it was like so that was kind of like that B-side moment, because we didn't really, because of it was live, we didn't really have time to really talk about it because we was listening.
Yes.
So, and then even on the car ride back, it was just it wasn't a good.
I would say it wasn't good.
I'm just saying, how I verbalized what I meant to say, it didn't come out.
Correct.
So yeah, that's my B-side.
Yes. That was a good B-side because I really forgot about that. Okay. So my A-side would have to be just I would say the way that you have been supportive. Things have been really crazy. And so, yeah, so just the support and just the way that you've been kind of taking, you've been responsible for a lot of things, and you've kind of just taken it and ran with it. And so that was definitely evident in the last week. So, especially as like we were trying to get ready for school and stuff. Yeah. So yes. Okay. So that was my A side. My B side is, there's so many. Not necessarily like related to our relationship, but I'm trying to see if I should do the B side related to what you said or.
You can. It's up to you.
Nah, I'm gonna do something else. I'm gonna talk about this heat. This heat is the B side moment because it is causing additional responsibilities and like additional coordination as we get ready for school. So actually, not just the heat. I'm just going whole B-side is getting ready to go back to school. All of it. I can do without it. Pineapples, don't like it. Yeah. Okay. So it's so our kids have pretty much all this summer, if they haven't been swimming, they've been in pajamas. So none of their clothes they can actually wear to school. So having to try to shop, giving them some kind of agency over what they wear, like trying to include them in the process.
Too much.
1 star, would not recommend. I shouldn't say that. For our kids, definitely 1 star, would not recommend. Tomatoes. Then it's making sure that they have clothes, but have clothes just kind of like for the very first part of the school year. Well, actually not even the school year, like the couple of months of school, because the weather will change perfectly, hopefully sooner versus later.
I hope so too.
All right, but then we have the heat. So like all these layers are messing up our back to school routine. Yeah. So back to school, which would mean, because of the ages or the grades that our kids are in now, which would mean that they get to ride their bikes. This heat is so disrespectful. And of course, since we've come back from our family vacation, our youngest has been dealing with his eczema has been on 1,000.
With the heat.
And the heat is not
intensifying.
It's not helping. Yeah. So he can't ride bikes. Yeah. So now it's coordinating not only drop-offs but pickups when they were supposed to ride their bikes. That was supposed to be one less thing that we had to make sure we had coordination on, and we don't. And then because we checking the littles, now our oldest is like, well, I ride a bike too, so it's hot. And it is hot.
So let me preface this. She's just saying the word hot.
Oh.
It's blazing.
Well,
it's
but like, it's across America.
Yeah, but I'm saying like at pickup time for them to come home, it is between 105, I'll say 104 and 109.
Yep, that's true.
So...
And their bikes are sitting in the heat all day.
In the heat all day, and then they gonna get on. It's gonna be scorching hot.
Yep.
So yeah, it's. So
that's what I said.
That was a good B-side.
All of that.
That was a good one though. Yeah.
Could do without. Would not recommend.
Yeah. So. Our second segment is P2P Share, where we share something we're reading, listening to, or watching. What you got?
Ooh, y'all. Okay. I do have something. Things have been crazy. So what I do is I try to watch just, reality TV or something light. Because Jay told me that I probably shouldn't be watching my true crime, my documentaries when I'm trying to decompress.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I've been watching Sister Wives because it's really entertaining. And the new season starts on the August 20th.
I did not know you were going that way.
Sister Wives is a good show because, and also too, it talks about like the dynamic of this, having a poly relationship, polyamorous, polygamous.
I don't know. I don't watch it. So
y'all, my brain's a little bit fried.
I can't go there, so I don't.
But anyways, having multiple spouses, but they initially started for religious reasons, and how COVID basically blew all that up, and now how they like some wives are trying to stay for because they said they want to be the example of a poly like lifestyle for the world, and then like religion is becoming less and less of a factor in it, and it's just good TV. I mean, it's horrible to see like how these relationships are being destroyed, but at the same time, it also talks to like the husband's like pridefulness and how he's really not about this. This setup was literally all for him and not really about what they said it was initially about. So, anyways, new season is starting. Check it out.
Yes,
It's really good.
I actually don't have anything because I got a new book I just started reading.
Don't cheek it. What you about to say?
No, what?
Okay.
I just started a new book, so I don't have anything because, like, right now I'm reading this one book, but I just literally just started, so I'm not gonna.
Okay,
really
he usually try to do me like I'd be like, yeah, sister wives, and you'd be like, well, I'm reading the Bible.
Oh no, I'm just saying that I started a book. So that's why I'm not saying because I literally just started.
Okay.
I got the book in the mail, and I literally it was Thursday I started reading it. So
okay.
I really haven't gotten all the way into it. I just really read the intro basically.
Okay.
So I ain't got nothing. So
All right. Okay, so with that being said, what are we talking about today?
So this is something I thought about that I don't know if we've really talked about this, and I know this was something that we talked about initially when we got married. Do we hyphenate or should we not hyphenate?
Oh Lord, Jesus.
So
okay.
Yeah, so I kind of wanted to talk about that because again, I can't remember. I don't remember all the conversations we had regarding this, and
I do.
And then kind of like what we did, how we came to when we came to the I really don't remember. So I'm kind of like want to talk through like kind of like what we feel the pros and cons were when we got married and why, I guess, and the pros, not say the pros, but the reasons why you wanted to hyphenate, and then I guess the reason why I didn't, I guess.
Okay.
So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, so to begin with, I am still very passionate about this because, I mean, it's a thing, but it's only on the wife.
Okay.
Nothing changes for the husband.
Okay.
So, honestly, I feel as though, you really don't have a say.
Okay.
Like, I mean, you can, okay, I shouldn't say that. You have your own opinion.
Gotcha.
But I feel like it's up to the wife to determine how it's going to go.
Okay.
Like, she should make the final decision because she's the one that's having to change everything.
Okay. Okay.
So where do you want me to begin? Because I have a lot to say about this subject.
That's what we're gonna talk about. Because again, I'm trying. Again, not saying I'm trying. This is something I remember we had this conversation.
We did.
Again, yeah. So.
Okay, so to provide a little context about why it was a thing for us, initially was because I was very, and I've said this numerous times on the podcast, but I was very independent and was not looking to get married.
Okay.
So I had built an identity that was based in Rashonda Nichols. Like, that is my maiden name. So I'm like, I like my name. I liked my initials. Like, I liked everything about, like, I was good. And also, too, it feels like when you get married and you change your last name, you lose, like, that connection.
Okay.
So I'm no longer, so especially in the area that I grew up in, everyone with my last name, and they were black.
Okay.
Because we found out there was a white family that also had Nichols, and we were like, are we related? How that? So, but everybody knew. Oh, you're Reverend Nichols' daughter.
Okay.
Like, there was something. Oh, your brother you know, was really good at track and all that stuff.
Okay.
So like they knew who I was with the last name.
Gotcha.
And so then when I changed my last name, then they don't. I felt like I'm not as easily connected to my childhood, like what I've grown up.
Okay.
And how I was identified, or growing up, or prior. I shouldn't say growing up, but prior to getting married.
Okay. All right. No, again, because when you said that part, that to me that's new. I don't remember us talking about that part. The part.
Okay.
No, the part.
Might not. Okay, so I might not have said it the way I just said it.
Originally when we had this conversation, it kind of triggered what you just said, because you said, like, kind of, you said, I'm independent. I want to keep my last name, and I remember, because now when you said that, I remember my feeling was like, but you're married now, because you're not independent anymore. So you're married. So to me, that was like, how does that even, like, if you just said that, it could have been a better conversation, because
I agree.
You was just like, no, I've been independent and I want to keep my name. I was like, but what does that have to do with us? Like,
yes.
you're still keeping yourself, your identity, and then because you want to be independent, but how does that work for us? And I remember that's how I felt at that moment. Because
yes, that's what I said. I didn't say it like I just did.
Yeah, that's what I say. That was
because I also because I didn't attach how I was feeling with why I wanted to do the thing.
Gotcha.
That's what I said. Growth. Okay.
That is growth.
But yeah, so that's kind of how I was feeling. So it's like really struggling. Like, how do I still keep, like, how do I still connect my past with where I want to go?
Okay.
So that's just like kind of the feelings behind it.
Yeah.
Which is why then I was like, okay, well, maybe we should hyphenate, or I should hyphenate, because then we will hyphenate the kids' names. Mm-hmm. Because that way I still have my maiden plus, like, so I felt like that was going to be the best of both worlds. And you said no.
Yeah, no, I do remember. Like, again,
I mean, no convo, just no.
Again, like I said, like you said, you didn't you verbalize the same way during that time. Like, again, I guess because of how I've grown up and how I seen it, it always, like, I guess, and I'll be honest with you, the families that I've known that hyphenate names always got divorced. That's how. So for me, I was like, I'm not trying.
See, and that's new to me. I didn't know.
Yeah, so I'm not trying to put that on us now, because again, that was something for me. I'm not trying to put that on us, and then us get divorced, and then now my kids have two last. Like, that was in my head. So, like I said, now as we talking, it's starting to come back now.
Yeah, so that's what I said. Now, I don't remember much, but this I do remember.
So yeah, so that was part of it. Is like, because again, the way I felt it made our kids split and figure out. Again, because getting divorced, it makes the kids figure out which way they want to go, and then even just having a kid saying, I want to change my last name to my mom or my dad, and they take it off. So if they get a divorce, they no longer even have your last name. Like, they won't no longer have my last name, they only have yours, because they decided, I don't want daddy's. Again, I just didn't, for me, because I didn't want to put that on us, and already, for me, how I felt is I didn't want to put that negative connotation on us to already put us in my head like, okay, now we're gonna get a divorce because, she wants, we're gonna hyphenate our kid's name. That was just, again, and that's probably, I know I didn't verbalize that before, but yeah.
Nope, you did not. Because yes, I would have definitely had some challenges to that, but it seems like.
And this is something also too, I guess, when we had the conversation, it was, the other thing was like, and I'll say this, and I'm not taking away from your credentials or what you've done in school and stuff like that, but I looked at it as like, okay, if you had a doctorate or something like that with doctor in front of your name, it would be different, because now that's tied to, what you, like, your achievements and stuff like that. And then, because you didn't have that, I was like, it's simple to do it. And that's in my head. That's at the time. That's how I felt, because it's like, I like I said, I had an issue with hyphenating even our kids because I'm like, you know, I don't want them to think that, okay, why they got to pick sides because they got two last names.
They don't. They will
I know,
always
but
have
that's
the two.
but that's
But also, too, so to that point, then why is it that you couldn't take my name? Because I think I'm pretty sure I threw that out there. Because if it was the last name, why does it matter which one?
honestly, I don't have no response to that because
I'm pretty sure, like, because I'm the head of the household.
that's what I said.
No, but I'm
Oh,
pretty sure that's.
I was
I
like,
can see you saying not that, but like, well, because that's not the norm.
I might have said that's not the norm.
Yep. I believe that's more like what you said.
Yeah, I
but
might have said
when
that.
you said that, what I heard was because I'm the man and you're supposed to take my last name.
So yeah, again, I don't have no comment because no, I don't have no comment, and it's like I guess I understand what you're saying. You know, by if I took your last name, you know, it would do the same thing, like the identity part, being like it's changing your identity. Again, let me stop for let me stop before I say this
Okay.
because a name is important.
Yes, it is.
But I'm only this is something that just hit me just now.
Okay, let me hear it.
When God creates something new, he in the Bible you change people's names. Mm-hmm. So we join something together, and so that's why in my head.
But your name's not changing.
Huh?
This is the problem I have with that. Okay, yes.
Yeah.
In the Bible they change because they are new creatures.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
So I'm changing, but you're not. Nothing changed about your name.
Okay, that's true. Yeah, that's true.
You were still the same yesterday, today. So that's why I'm like, no, you can't use that. Because then if that's the case, and actually the more I'm talking about it, the more I'm realizing that is one of the struggles with traditional thinking, traditional mindset in marriage. Like the wife has to do all the changing and the husband doesn't. And that's why they come in with the same things, thinking that everything's going to remain the same, and it's not. Both people should be coming into the marriage as new creatures.
So what you're saying is we both.
So we should have hyphenated our names.
No,
that's what should happen.
No, we should have both changed our names then.
No, if we would have hyphenated, it would have been us both taking on new identities, but still keeping our past and attaching to in the future together. Because you would have now had Nichols Adams associated with your name.
Okay.
And then I would have had Nichols and Adams associated with my name.
Okay, but why not just change the whole last name period?
To what?
To something totally different.
But then if we're doing that, then we have to then find something that will resonate with both of us.
I'm not saying
I don't know how you
do
that legally. Can you do that legally?
This is like you said. You know, I'm kind of going off what you said. You said changing. We're changing our name. You said it. You went to just let's hyphenate both. Put both our names and we both changed that. But that's why I said why don't we just change the name? Period. So we both have two new names, two last names.
I mean, I don't know how that works legally.
I'm pretty sure you could do it because if kids could, when they turn 18, I want to change my name.
You can change your first name.
I believe you probably can change your last name.
That's what I'm saying. That's new to me. But the quick and easy would be to hyphenate both names because that's a change for both of us.
No, okay, I agree that, but that's why the other option, why don't we just create a whole new one? Why?
Well, however that works. I don't know. I can't speak on that because I don't know nothing about that. But hyphenating would have been the way to go for both of us. Because I believe when I brought up hyphenating, it was like you didn't like it because you were not going to hyphenate your name.
I don't recall. I can't.
I'm pretty sure you were like, well, I'm not hyphenating my name. I don't need to.
I might have said that, but I don't remember it. But I don't.
So that's what I'm saying. So that's all of that part about hyphenating or about last names. But the other thing is just the administrative side of things. It is extremely tedious. It is extremely lengthy.
Okay.
And literally, you have to change every single thing.
Okay.
And that is a pain. And I think that if more men were to have to change their last names, then the process would be different.
What do you mean, like the process of getting it changed?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Like it will be. So there will be more automation in the system.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay.
Because literally, I had to go to like every account, every like financial institution, every like driver's license, passport, social security, like all of those things have to be changed.
Did you have to change your birth certificate too, or no?
No.
Okay.
No, birth certificate remains the same, which is why I don't know how you can change your last name. But anyways, I digress. But yes, frequent flyer, frequent traveler, reward program, all of that has to be changed. And you have to send in the same documentation for all of these different things. It is a pain. And it's not as simple as, just your marriage license. Because some people want marriage license that have stamps and some want the originals and whatever. And I'm like, I'm not sending this to you for a frequent traveler reward. Like, no.
Yeah.
How do I know I'm not going to get that back? Or how am I going to know if I'm going to get it back? Like, it's just crazy. And it's time consuming. And then it's like, when can you do it? When do you start? And then when do you... It's painful.
So...
It's stressful in all the things.
So I guess I just thought about this right now. Being that your name right now, you have a lot of, not say you have a lot, but you have issues where you can't use certain punctuation. How do you think that would have been if, and I'm just saying even with our kids, like all our documents would probably just say Nick, it wouldn't even have the dash in it because a lot of stuff don't put that in there and don't have enough feeling to put all in there. Because again, I guess I'm looking at how many, first of all, your letters in your name right now, plus your middle name, and then you have both our names on the end of it.
That's not my problem.
But that's part of like the documentation that we sign. You can't put hyphens in certain things. So. Well,
I grew up having punctuation in my first name, so it can be done.
Okay. This is just a question. I'm not.
It can be done. Systems you can program around it. I mean, or just be going by different initials. Like my name gets truncated, it gets misspelled, it gets whatever. So what? Why not make it the same way for my last name as well? Okay. It's like I'm used to my name being printed wrong. So.
Yeah, that's funny. Okay. So yeah, like
that's what I just would have loved for you to also have gone through the pain of having to change a last name. It's a lot.
So do you feel that as couples get married, y'all both should make that change?
I don't know. I think people should do what's best for them.
Okay.
I'm always an advocate of doing what's best for you.
Okay.
It might not be a problem for certain people. You know, some people might not have a problem taking on the husband's last name.
Okay.
You asked about us.
I know that.
And that's when I was like, this is our thing. Because I think it's just interesting that the assumption is that the wife will automatically take the husband's name. Unless, like you said, she's built this career or she has these credentials associated with her maiden name. I don't think that it should be that automatic.
Okay.
I don't care if I have the credentials or not. Like.
Okay. So I guess my question being that, I'm not gonna ask that question. Because,
go for it.
No, because because you already kind of gave more detail of why
Yeah.
So I was like, my question was gonna go back to that initial statement that we had.
Okay.
Not so much what you just kind of said now, because it now makes it's more different, and that's what it adds more detail of why. And I can definitely understand that.
Well, yeah, and it's and in that time period when you're making all these changes, it's just a lot of things are being changed.
Yeah.
So it's not just, oh, I have to change my last name. It's also too, oh, now I'm like officially, like I am MRS, now. Like, so there's.
And that was a problem.
Well, no, it's a responsibility. It's just a
okay.
shift, a mindset
Gotcha.
shift that needs to occur. As well as now y'all like officially like together. Like you're not together and planning a wedding. Like you're like together. So what does that look like? How you like you're trying to just figure life out.
Yeah.
And then you have to do all this other administrative stuff.
Okay.
And mind you probably have like gifts still coming in. Like it's just a lot going on around that same time. And you're like, oh, I don't want to now have to add another thing to it.
Okay, I see what
Let me figure this out.
Okay.
Because I know people who waited long, like maybe like a year or so after they got married to actually do all the changing of the things.
Yeah.
But then it goes to be a problem with passports. Mm-hmm. So you only have a certain amount of time. And that's what it's like. And then certain things, you only have a certain amount of time from the day that you get your marriage license to the day you can change it without additional like paperwork and additional process.
Okay.
And because we got married we have our license in Texas, but our ceremony was in Mexico.
Yeah.
Then, so there's timing. So although we got the license early, our ceremony was a couple of weeks later, and then we had our honeymoon. Mm-hmm. So now we're back, and now I got to change my passport because I'm running out of time.
Okay.
Would not recommend. It's a lot. That's what I was like, it's a lot.
So I guess I'm trying to think like, okay, so what can the husband do, but like if like you said, the husband would have to do something. Like I'm trying to think like, okay, so you change your name. What would be something like, let's say equivalent of something I can do that has to make me go through doing something that's going to change, so it can feel equated to, like other than just like I said, changing. Like you said, is there anything else? Like so,
I say what?
So if a couple says, okay, yeah, I'm gonna take my husband's name, but I want you to change something too. Like, and you gotta give you that same kind of, you have to go through that same process. Because again, I don't really.
No, you
I
don't
really
understand.
know. I don't understand. I'm gonna be honest. I don't understand
No.
of the full name change.
No,
So-
and there's nothing that I could give you to say that, because unless you're like literally changing the name, that's the only equivalent, because guys don't have to do it.
Okay.
So there's nothing that I can think of, especially off the top of my head, where it's like something that's so inconvenient that that impacts pretty much everything legally.
Okay.
I don't even know.
Okay, I'm trying to think of something.
Because even I was like, oh, maybe it's like, trust or wills. But no, that's literally just that area. Like, those are just a couple of documents.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
Okay, I'm trying to think of something, because
And then that's another thing. I haven't thought about the houses. Yeah, if you have houses, oh, Jesus.
Yeah, real estate and stuff like that.
Huh?
Real estate.
Yeah, if you have real estate, you got to get all that stuff changed.
Yeah.
So that's what I was like, I can't. It literally impacts everything.
Yeah.
So no, I don't.
Okay.
I don't have anything.
Okay.
I would say, like, if this is an issue, I would say this.
Okay.
Or, well, first I would say, have this conversation.
Yeah.
Prior to getting married. I think that was the one thing that did help us.
Okay.
Because we had this conversation before we did the marriage license and all that.
Yeah.
We had this conversation. I will say, now looking back, at that moment when we made when the decision was made, I did it out of obligation.
Okay.
I did not want to do it. Now looking back at it, I'm glad I did it, but I also wish I would have been more. I would have voiced my concerns in a more thorough way.
Okay.
Then basically it's like, I just don't want to do it.
Miss Independent.
I don't want to do it. Yeah, basically that's how it was. So I would advise to have a conversation beforehand so that you can truly get to an understanding of why it's important, like why each way or whatever the way is important to the other person to get their perspective, and then decide whatever makes sense for the both of y'all.
Okay.
Because I think this is, although it may come across as being small, it could weigh, it could have more impact for one person than the other.
Yeah. And that's why having the conversation is important, because again, it can be, like, you don't have any siblings or your family's passed, so you don't have, so that, that can be something you want to continue to pass your name on because there's nobody. So, like, that
right. I am
sense.
fortunate that I have a brother, and then I have a nephew who
As kids.
is all about reproduction. So the Nichols name does live on.
Oh, I can't with you. Oh, no. Oh man.
I'm just saying.
I don't even know how to finish my thought.
Well, I'm sorry.
No, it's all good. So, yeah, we just wanted to kind of, I just wanted to have a conversation regarding it, because I thought about it. It's like, again, I didn't remember the details until you started talking. So I was like, okay, let's have this conversation and just.
Yeah, because it is important.
Yeah.
Because, and then it's also what, I know we didn't really go there, but it goes into even divorce. Like, because usually, and I shouldn't say usually, I know in some cases where the husband was like, and I'm taking my last name back. So that's like, it's like a part of changing your last name is like a part of ownership.
Okay.
That's why you have to be careful on how you like try to push it on somebody.
Okay.
Because it's like, now you got my last name, like I own you. I'm not saying this is in our situation. In general, it's like I own you, and so then when you get a divorce, I'm taking my name back. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like it's not something that is truly mine.
Is that something, like, I guess, I don't know this, that's what I say. Is that something that usually happens, or is it just
Yes.
when they get divorced, like if the wife took the husband, like they're just like, I'm going back to my maiden name, or
some do, some don't. Okay. Some because it goes back to what have you built since y'all been married and you took on the last name.
Okay, gotcha. Okay.
So a lot of people are like, I've built, this life with this person. We have kids, so now if I change my name back. Now I have, and depending on the age of the kids, like I'm still like, then they're like, well, are you really the legal guardian? Like it's a whole thing because now you have to go back and you got to change everything back that you changed to the new, see what I'm saying?
Okay, I see what you're saying.
So a lot of people are like, I'm not going to do this. I'm keeping the last name. And then that becomes a point of contingency in the divorce. Okay. Because also too, especially what if your kids go to the same school? Or in the same district. Yeah. And they'd be like, oh, hi, Miss Adams. Oh, hi, Miss Adams. Who Miss Adams go with this kid? You see what I'm saying?
No, make a good point.
This is like, it's a lot into last names. Last names do matter. They mean things.
Yeah.
So, and then it's like, and then me being a Miss Adams, it was even weird for me to be called Miss Adams in front of your mom. Cause I was like, no, she's Miss Adams.
Yeah.
That's what I said. It's just, she ain't have no problem with it, but it's just like, there's all kinds of things that get associated with
a name.
With the name.
Yeah. Okay.
So.
All right. Well, I don't have
anything.
anything.
It's more than just a last name.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so I don't have anything else. Like you kind of already did the marriage event tip because
Yes, have the conversation.
yeah, have the conversation like I said, and and I say take it from us because our original conversation wasn't the way we just had it just now. 'Cause
No,
again, it was
wasn't.
we made it through,
grown.
but we made it through and we stay together. So even from that one little. Not really conversation because based on just talking right, I don't think we really communicated about it. We just
Oh no, we did it. Like it was just like I think also too. It goes back to what we've said before about having when to have these kind of conversations.
Yeah.
I think the assumption was you just automatically assumed that I was going to take the last name. It was just a matter of when, and I feel like I want to say that's when we were having the conversation because it was about timing about stuff, and I was like, well, why you assume that I'm just taking your name? I thought we want to hyphenate, and then. The conversation. Yeah, we had the conversation, but it wasn't very good.
The way you said it, just how I remember you said it. It just felt a little triggered how you just said it because that's Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that was like like I said, have it. It does matter.
Okay.
And understand. And I was like, from the person or I would say just from the husband's perspective, just go in with an open mind, knowing that it's more than just taking on your last name. And it's not even a matter of a wife not wanting to take your last name. It's just that all the stuff that comes with it that we've talked about in this episode. And just trying to help support her as she's making the transition.
Okay. No, that's a good point.
On whatever you guys decide. So that's what it's like. That's what it's like. Just go into a conversation open minded, understanding that it's not just about. It's literally more than just taking on somebody's last name. Like, what is that? How does that really impact her life?
Okay. And
trying to come from a place of understanding, more so than authoritative.
Okay. Or not just authoritative, more just how this is just how everybody does it, and how
Yep.
Because like when you said authoritative,
You didn't like it.
I didn't like it because
the act is authoritative. It's very dictatorship-ish.
Okay. No. Okay.
But that's what I'm saying. Not meaning that you intended it to be that way. The process, the sentiment is very dictator-ish.
Okay. Well.
So.
Hope y'all enjoyed this week's episode. Just want to bring out something a little bit, not say a little bit lighter, but just something, that we actually experienced, and as you can tell, this is a conversation that we still can have right now.
Yes.
Because we
in a healthier way.
Yeah, in a healthier way. And we can actually use our vowels. But as always, like, follow, and share, subscribe, share with somebody anybody that's going through this process right now, share with them.
Yes.
So they have some nuggets and how they can learn to just communicate about the why. Mm-hmm. So, until next week.
Because remember, the real work begins after I do. Peace.